Hi, everyone. My name is Christiana Weens, and I want to start today by acknowledging that the Comox Strathcona Waste Management Service operates within the territories of the Coast Salish, Kwakwaka'wakw, and Nuu-chah-nulth peoples. Thank you for taking the time to learn more about the proposed waste reduction strategies in our region. As a reminder, all of the following slides are also available on the Weigh In on Waste website, and many of them are in the survey itself. If you have questions or comments, please submit them to the questions, answer, and comments section of the page. And don't forget to complete the survey. The link is on the last slide you'll see here today. With that, I'll turn this presentation over to Lindsay Eason. Lindsay is the community educator for the Comox Strathcona Waste Management Service, and you can find her at many community events throughout the region this fall. Lindsay, over to you.
Thank you, Christiana. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me today. In this presentation, we'll take a look at how waste is managed in our region, some of the strategies that we're considering for the future, and how you can help shape our next solid waste management plan. So let's dive in. What is a solid waste management plan? Well, it's essentially our community's blueprint for managing waste over the next decade. But it's about more than just managing garbage. It's a comprehensive strategy for handling everything from recycling to organics in our region. Solid waste management plans are provincially required for all regional districts across BC to ensure that we're managing our waste responsibly and effectively so we can reflect changing community needs and advancements in regulations. Now, our current solid waste management plan was created in 2012, and it has guided us well. But with a growing population and new waste management goals, it's definitely time for an update. So we're now in our third step of our renewal process, which is called evaluating options. And your feedback, the feedback you provide by completing the survey or attending a community event is really important for this part. Your input on the proposed strategies and actions will help ensure that the plan truly represents our community's needs and values, and thereby will help shape the draft plan. The draft will go back to the Regional Solid Waste Advisory Committee and to the Comox Strathcona Waste Management Board before it then comes back to you. And we expect that plan to be finalized and submitted to the province in 2026. So how do we currently manage waste in our region? So I wanted to provide this map to highlight the size of our region and the services we provide. So we operate services in unique communities across both the Comox Valley and the Strathcona regional districts. From waste management centers, recycling depots and transfer stations, composting facilities, and more. We also operate alongside private and nonprofit partners to support reuse facilities, bottle depots, repair cafes, and recycling centers. And our work also includes education, ways of preventing illegal dumping, and safely diverting household hazardous waste, organics, construction material, and more. All right, next slide. So our shared goal through the solid waste management plan is to produce less garbage. On average, each person in our service area generates 551 kilograms of waste every year. The provincial target is 350 kilograms per person. Waste management affects everyone in our region, whether it's at home, at work, or through business activities. And right now, about 51% of what we're sending to the landfill could actually be recycled or composted. That means we have a lot of room for improvement. So this is a snapshot of what's in our waste stream, and it shows that there is plenty of room for, there are plenty of opportunities for improvement. So these results give us a direct look at what's in our garbage when we break open the black garbage bags across all sectors. So you can see that 29% of the waste was compostable material. So this is food and yard waste and other organics. Almost 24% of waste was construction and renovation material, and 16% of our waste was recyclable paper and packaging. So this data shows us exactly what we need to focus on to significantly reduce the amount of waste going into our landfill. This data is foundational for our solid waste management plan update. By focusing on what can be diverted, we can reduce costs, save space in our landfill, and conserve resources. Of course, cost is an important consideration. So in creating this plan, elected officials have asked us to keep the proposed actions within a 3 to 5% of our current $15.4 million annual operating budget. So where possible, we've prioritized actions that are funded directly by those who generate the waste instead of using general taxation. We expect that if additional funds are needed, increases could come from tipping fees or from taxes. And for context, if the entire increase was covered by property taxes, it would amount to about $7.50 per home assessed at $670,000. So waste diversion isn't just good for the environment, it saves money too. So by diverting waste, we extend the life of our landfill, we reserve space for true garbage, and we reduce methane emissions from decomposing organics. Now, modern landfills are highly engineered and expensive facilities. They are no longer a dump for everything that is unwanted in society. They are highly complex, multi-million dollar engineered facilities with sophisticated systems for groundwater protection, methane control, and environmental monitoring that spans decades post-closure. So because they are so expensive to build and operate, their value is in the airspace, which is finite. So for example, diverting 750 cubic meters of landfill space, which is about the size of 10 school buses, will save $25,500 in future landfill construction costs. Okay, so you might be wondering what is in our proposed plan to reduce waste. So now that we've established the why, let's talk about the how. So we've identified 8 strategies and 33 specific actions that serve as a roadmap to help us reach our waste reduction goals. These strategies were developed based on input from community members, staff, as well as experts. So together they offer practical ways to meet the needs of our community across our region. So each of these 33 proposed actions were carefully evaluated based on the cost, community benefit, and diversion potential. So to make this easier to understand, we've created a simple rating system to help us quickly see which actions are most impactful and most cost-effective. The dollar sign represents the costs, which while the waste bins represent the potential for diverting waste. All right, are you ready to dive into the actions and strategies? So, oh, by the way, all of the following graphics are also available on our website and in the survey itself. So there's no need to memorize anything or to take notes. So the first strategy is to support reuse initiatives. So this strategy is about keeping items in circulation for as long as possible. Instead of throwing things away, we can extend their life by supporting thrift stores, share sheds, and community reuse organizations. The actions include continuing to promote donations to existing reuse establishments, partnering with a nonprofit to pick up reusable waste from the Comox Valley Waste Management Center as a pilot program, and providing $1 per permanent resident to volunteer organizations or local governments on places like Quadra, Cortez, and other areas that run remote share sheds. So the diversion potential is relatively low for each action. The cost is highest with partnering with a nonprofit for the pilot program at the Comox Valley Waste Management Center. However, the community benefits are very high, especially in the more remote communities. Okay, strategy 2, encouraging repair. So this strategy is all about empowering people to fix items that are otherwise discarded. It focuses on promoting free repair cafes as well as access to training and to repair services. By encouraging repair, we can reduce waste, support local businesses and trades, and help people save money. So think about electronics, bicycles, small appliances. Repairing these items instead of replacing them reduces waste and extends that product life, and thereby keeping them out of the landfill. So as you can see, the actions include supporting the existing 5 to 6 repair cafes that we host every year, supporting the coordination of repair cafes through grants, providing support by developing kits with basic supplies to support these repair events, and advocating for provincial and national right to repair regulations. The diversion potential and the costs are relatively low for these actions. While the immediate diversion of waste is modest for each individual action, the long-term benefit of making repair more accessible is very high. All right, strategy 3. Encouraging waste diversion through education and outreach. So this strategy is about giving more residents, businesses, and institutions the knowledge and the tools that they need to sort properly, recycle more, and reduce waste overall. The actions include continue supporting waste diversion in schools and community events, expanding educators' reach with content to serve more communities and sectors, and investing in infrastructure and education to support waste diversion at community events. So the direct diversion potential is relatively low for each action. The funding for continued support for diversion in schools and communities or at community events already exists within our current budget. And the benefits build on the existing successes of the community to continue to inspire broader behavioral changes needed to meet our long-term goals. Okay, strategy 4. Improve multifamily waste reduction and diversion. So this strategy is about improving systems and support for multifamily housing units, such as apartments, condos, and townhomes, which are a growing part of our community's housing stock. The building layout, shared bins, limited space, and at varying levels of awareness can make waste reduction harder for multifamily buildings. The actions include requiring new multifamily buildings to include a space for recycling and organic bin collection, starting a campaign in existing multifamily buildings to boost participation and reduce contamination rates, and to start organics collection for multifamily housing. So organics collection and new requirements could show the highest diversion potential and directly address a major part of our waste stream and the biggest contributor to methane in our landfill. The costs are higher for organics collection than the other actions, but the benefit overall would be that we would have all residents equally diverting all this waste. Okay, let's go to the next. Strategy 5. Improve industrial, commercial, and institutional waste reduction and diversion. So businesses and institutions generate a large portion of our region's waste. This strategy looks at ways to support and encourage these sectors to reduce and divert more. Now, this is a really big one. So take a look at all these actions. I'll give you a little bit of a summary here. There's a lot of potential actions which include advocacy, policy, education, and support. We also want local governments to model waste diversion at their facilities so we can lead by example. We want to set some standards throughout the whole industry. So an estimated 60% of waste from industrial, commercial, and institutional sectors can be diverted, which is a massive opportunity for our region. The cost of these actions vary, with some being in the mid-range, while others, like landfill material bans with differential tipping fees, such as number 15, and the technical assistance to help schools and businesses reduce waste, number 17, represent a higher investment. However, the diversion potential is very high across a number of these actions, including advocacy. So the benefits of this strategy is that it's a worthwhile investment to capture one of the largest waste streams in our region. All right, let's go to strategy 6. Reduce construction, renovation, and demolition waste. This is another big one we have to talk about here. So referred to as CRD waste, this makes up a huge part of our landfill volume. Materials like wood, drywall, and concrete can all often be salvaged and recycled instead of buried. This strategy focuses on increasing diversion in CRD projects through policy, incentives, and support for reuse and recycling facilities. These several actions here focus on promoting deconstruction and relocation instead of demolition, providing funding, education, and policies to support diversion, and improving sorting at facilities and collaborating regionally on solutions. The costs are highest for Action 21, which is requiring relocation and deconstruction over demolition, and 26 finding space to physically separate mixed construction loads at the Comox Valley Waste Management Center. The diversion potential is high across many of these actions, and some of the biggest gains expected from policy changes and facility improvements. The overall benefit is streamlining permitting processes and removing barriers for customers in the space, making it easier for everyone to reduce waste from these larger projects. All right, strategy 7, equalize access to services. So not everyone in our region has the same level of access to waste services. This strategy is about closing that gap by reviewing service standards and offering more diversion options where service is limited. The actions focus on expanding depots, drop-off options, and service standards across the region, requiring source separation of garbage, recycling, and compost for businesses and households, and introducing region-wide collection services for rural areas. So the costs are highest for the actions that expand services, such as reviewing service standards, adding depots and collection events, number 27, and introducing user-pay drop-off options, as in number 28. The diversion potential is relatively high across all these actions, with the region-wide collection having the highest potential. The benefits would mean that all residents have equalized access to getting rid of their recycling, organics, and garbage, more cost-effective services, and reduce the ever-growing demand and pressure at existing facilities. All right, last strategy. Strategy 8 is advancing solid waste tracking. So solid waste tracking can have big benefits. In addition to economic efficiency and environmental responsibility, we can also incentivize haulers to bring in less organics and recycling material. This strategy is about licensing facilities and haulers to improve data collection and providing incentives and rebates to haulers if they can share that diversion data. The costs are in the mid-range and are a worthwhile investment for the benefits. The diversion potential is highest when we offer reduced tipping fees in exchange for data, as this action directly incentivizes haulers to improve their sorting practices. The overall benefit is that we get transparent data, which helps us make better decisions and ensure fair competition. Okay. Thank you for sticking with me through all of those strategies and actions. What input do you have for our proposed plan? We would love to hear your ideas. So you can provide feedback by attending one of our upcoming events or completing the survey online. As a bonus, you'll be entered for a chance to win a $100 grocery store gift card if you participate by October 16th. So just visit the Engage page, which is engagecomoxvalley.ca/SWMP to learn more and to share your feedback. So thank you for taking the time to weigh in on waste and to help shape the future of waste management in our region. See you next time.